Hi, I'm Bruce Busby, president of RootsMagic, and I'm going to spend a few minutes here showing you the brand new enhanced color coding features that we've added to RootsMagic 9. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. Let's say I want to color code the four grandparent lines, the red, blue, green, and purple. Well, I'm going to just come to that first line, first grandparent, and I'm going to right click and choose color coding. And I'm going to select red. That's the color I want for that line. And I'm going to mark the ancestors of the current person. Now I'm going to apply that color to those people. And so I've just done that. Let's go ahead and move to the second line. I'm going to do color coding. I'm going to choose blue, and I'm going to apply this to the ancestors of that person. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the third grandparent. I'm going to color code, and I'm going to choose green, and I'm going to apply that again to the ancestors of that person. And I'm going to go to that fourth line, and I'm going to color code, and I'm going to set it to purple for the ancestors of that person. Okay, so I now have my four color code lines, my four grandparent lines color coded, and they show up here. That's going to be that way on the family view. It's going to be that way on the list view. You see it's there, the list view here as well. So it basically, every place that you can, really look at people, you're going to see them color coded. Now, once I have people color coded, I can continue to bring up that color code screen by right clicking and clicking color coding, but I can also double click on the little color bar. And when I do that, that brings that up as well. Now what I want to do, and this is something that's new in version 9, is I am now going to enter labels for those colors. So this red, that was the paternal grandfather line, and blue was the paternal grandmother line, and green was the maternal grandfather line, and purple was the maternal grandmother line. So I can actually just give names to whichever colors I'm using. If I'm not using a color, I don't have to give it a label. In fact, if I am using a color, I don't have to give it a label. This is just for your own use, so you don't have to memorize what each color means. Now I can also call this color set something. I'm going to go ahead and call this ancestor lines. I'm going to go ahead and click close, and now you'll notice when I hover over somebody that's red, it shows me that this is ancestor lines, and this red is in the paternal grandfather line. Blue shows that it's the paternal grandmother line. Green shows it's the maternal grandfather line. And purple shows it's the maternal grandmother line. So again, from here, I don't have to memorize what blue. If I'm looking at this, if I'm looking at the list of whatever, I don't have to memorize that anymore. I can see it just by hovering over that. Okay, now this is where we start getting really cool. I'm going to go into the color coding, and let's say I wanted to create a second color code. Well, in the past, if you had something color coded like I have here, and you wanted to use color coding for something else, you had to basically destroy this current color coding, set the new color coding, use it, and then when you were done, go back and redo the entire original color coding. Well, now we don't have to do that because now we have 10 different color code sets. Okay, and this first one is the ancestor lines. And so if you brought your data over from an earlier version of RootsMagic, this color code set, whatever you had your color code set to, is going to be set as color code set 1. So your colors will still be there. Your current color coding will still be there. It won't have a name, or the colors won't have names, but you can go in there and name them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a second color code set. And I'm going to call this one sex, and I'm going to call pink female, I'm going to call blue male, and maybe I call gray unknown. Okay, so I've got that. Now I can just go ahead and close this, and it'll create this new color code set, or I can continue with what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want to color code people selected from a list, and let's go ahead and we're going to select pink. We're going to select the females, people selected from a list. So when I bring this up, it's going to let me mark people, and I'm going to go mark people with the old sex is female. So I'm going to say I marked everybody whose sex is female. There's 921 of those people. Select that, and you can see those people are now color-coded pink. Okay, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to select blue, the male. And I'm going to do the same thing, people selected from a list, and apply that color. And I'm going to mark by data fields. Again, sex is male. Okay. And then again, I could just do that with the unknown, and it would color code them gray. But I'm just gonna continue on right here. Now, as I highlight somebody with a blue color, you can see that it's showing me the color coding set is sex, and this particular one is male. This is female. And so as I highlight that, again, the little side list, the main list, everything is going to show me this current color coding. And now, let's say I wanted to go in, and I'm going to create a third one. I'm going to create a third one, and I'm going to call this one Wars. And I'm going to say red is revolutionary. I'm going to say green is civil. Blue is World War I. Purple might be World War II. You know, so I can do these however I want. I can just close this, and you'll notice that when I close that, all the color coding disappeared. And the reason for that is because I didn't select anybody. I just created the color code set, so it's there available to use, and it's now the current color code set. So let's say I go to this person, and I find that this person was in the Revolutionary War. Well, I can double click on the little space right there. I'm going to select Revolutionary War. I'm going to select the red highlighted person and apply that. Okay, perhaps this person was in the Civil War. So I'm going to select Civil War, highlighted person, and apply that. So when I cover over that, you're going to see wars, revolutionary, wars, civil, World War I, World War II, I can do that as well. And again, the color coding in the lists, every place else is going to use this current color coding. Now, what's nice is if I want to switch between color codes, all I have to do is bring up the color code set and just choose another one. Ancestor lines, close it. I'm now showing those ancestor lines. If I want to see the sex color coding, just select it, click close, and now that's the color coding that I'm selecting. And like I say, this whichever color coding set is the current one is what's going to be used in all the places where it displays the color coding. So for example, if I go into publish, and let's say I want to print a pedigree chart. If I want to do this pedigree chart, let's go ahead and I'm going to select this person. If I go in to do a pedigree chart and I want color coding to print, when I generate this color coding, you're going to see it's using the blue and pink. It's using the sex color coding because that's the currently selected color code. If I hop out of here, go back to people, go into color coding and select the ancestor lines. Okay, we switch over to ancestor lines. I'm going to go back into publish, select the pedigree chart, don't change anything. I'm still doing color coding. I generated it, but now it's using those four colors, the red, blue, green, and purple, because that is the currently selected color code. So I can have these 10 different color code sets and switch between them, and when I generate reports, it's going to use whichever one is the currently selected one, just like any lists, any other things that you do within the program are going to use that currently selected color code set. Now, the one place that it doesn't necessarily use the currently selected color coding is when you're going to do a search. So I'm going to go in here and do a search, and I'm going to clear the results. I'm going to go up into find, and I am going to say I want to find people based on their color coding. That's one of the things you can color code, and I can choose which color coding set I want. So I'm going to do color coding set 1 is blue. Okay, there it is. There's my color coding set of people whose ancestor line color coding is blue, and you can see that they're all showing there as blue. Now I'm going to go back in here, and this is what might confuse you at first. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say I want everybody whose color coding set 2 is blue. Okay. Okay. This list of people right here is everybody whose color code for the color code set 2 sex is blue. But you'll notice in this case the color coding bar in front of them is not blue. And the reason for that is because the current color code set is not number 2. It's not sex. It's still the four ancestor line color coding. So you can actually do color coding for a different set than is currently selected as the current color code set. This actually opens up a lot of powerful potential, being able to create a color code set and then have a second color code set that you search for, but display the color coding for the second set. Like I say, this is the one place in the program, other than this area of the program, the color coding is going to use whichever color code set you have as current. And again, all you have to do is select the one you want, close, and you're now using that color code set. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you are able to understand the new, much more powerful color coding a little bit better, and we will talk to you again soon.